Welcome back to the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast for the Women's Racing Cycling Awards of the Year. We got Best GC Rider, Best Sprinter, Best Classics Rider. We actually have some puncher specialists in the Women's World Tour. Best Time Trial Rider, Domestique, which is one actually some of my favourite moments of the year were some sort of certain Domestique moments. Breakout of the Year, Best Race of the Year. We've got a lot of awards to get through. We've got our arguments for each, but I think we'll kick off with Best GC Rider. This is a tricky one. This is a really tricky one because you have one rider, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, who won the biggest GC race, everyone's target of the year. You have another who was the best GC rider, inarguably, outside of that race for the rest of the year.
I think that's fair. Ferrand-Prévot won the Tour de France Femmes, and Vollering came second in that race. Demi Vollering got second in the Tour de France Femmes, we just said, but next to that won the entire Spanish circuit of stage races. So that includes Catalunya, Etzulia, and the Vuelta. So, and Burgos, am I inventing an extra race?
She won Catalunya, not Burgos. She did Catalunya.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So
second Swiss.
We're looking at lots of race. Well, sure, neither of the two did the Giro women's race. That's where we saw Royce Rengiganti and so forth fighting it out. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's between two riders for the first position. It's between Vollering and Ferrand-Prévot. When I think of the best GC rider category, I tend to want to give it to the rider who showed the highest level at the most important race in the season, which is Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Is that weird, considering Vollering was so consistent throughout the year?
I think it's Vollering.
Okay.
Ferrand-Prévot did 27 race days. She was excellent in most of the one-day classics she did, but UAE Tour not competitive, and then abandoned the Vuelta, and then she killed it in the Tour. She just did a flawless almost Tour de France, won 2 stages as well, and did a super high climbing level. She was the best GC rider for that week, but for the year, and also I do give Demi a little bit of an out for the crash, although it hit her level.
That's also a vulnerability of Vollering in my book.
2 years in a row.
The fact that it's not just the crash itself, it's not the ability to crash, it's the realistic nature of how Vollering seems to be, which is a rider that is willing during the Tour de France to work for Ali Wallison in a sprint stage, to go for QM points at a QM sprint in the last few mountain stages of the Tour de France Femmes. That is stuff that she should not be doing, and I see that as a weakness of Demi Vollering in those races. That's not a strength to her GC abilities. That is a weakness that hinders her ability to be her absolute bests for GC. And I count that. But it's like, if we look hypothetical on the men's side, for example, if Pogacar shows up only to the Tour de France and wins the Tour de France, and does shit at Catalunya and Paris-Nice, and Vingegaard, it's a weird comparison, because in reality it's sometimes the other way around. If Vingegaard shows up to winning Paris-Nice, UAE Tour, and Tirreno, that's difficult because it's at the same time. Let's say Etzulia, those three, hypothetically, but get second at the Tour de France, then I'd still go for Pogacar. Partially because in this case, Vollering outside of the Tour, she had, I don't know what the climb is called, but in one of those Spanish races, she had Isturamendi? Spanish climb that is also in San Sebastian. Isturamendi?
Mendizorroz.
Mendizorroz. Close enough. There's a Mendy in there. But at that climb, she had a really high level, but Pauline Ferrand-Prévot's level at the Tour de France was a level that I did not see at any point throughout the season from Vollering. Is that wrong?
That's correct. I mean, Vollering was good on these sort of 15-minute, 5-6% climbs. Valencia, she killed everybody in February, but February's not the main goal of these riders. It's winning the Tour de France. Yeah. I still for me, Ferrand-Prévot had to do it in one more race. Okay. even a second or third in another race, either Romandy, a Swiss, something, but to just have 1 week, and this is an award for the year, it has to be Vollering for me.
I get that. I think there's an argument for both.
Yeah. I think
but
third
I disagree
is...
with you.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, sometimes I'm doing the opposite. I go with peak level, not...
Yeah.
I think third is Reusser.
I think
she
that's
was
fair.
second in the Giro. She was always then second. I'm not just doing this on results, but she was second to Demi, who was the best GC rider at the time in spring. And she was facing her, and she was second, and also a big gap to whoever was behind her. Sick in the Tour, so... And she won Swiss, yeah. So I think it's... The blemish is not winning the Giro against Longo Borghini, where she probably should have. She was too overconfident on some of the uphill finishes. But who else would be third? Cassia's the argument for third, right?
I think when it comes to Reusser, I just think, okay, second in Valenciana, second in Vuelta, winning Burgos, winning Tour de Suisse, then second at Giro. Like, there's all individual factors, but just consistency you see throughout an entire period to then be sick going into the Tour de France Femme. I would expect Reusser at her best to podium at Tour de France Femme. Maybe that's not as simple as it seems, because the mountain stage at the Tour de France Femme are very different. So that's maybe not really correct in that assumption. But I also have her as third, and I actually don't think it's that close.
I think to Elisa Longo Borghini it's close.
Okay.
She won UAE Tour, which has a proper climb in it.
Fair.
She won the Giro head-to-head with Reusser. And, yeah, she was second in Burgos.
But also the Tour de France Femme, like Reusser, they're pretty even on that. As in, they weren't there.
Yeah. I think Cassia's clearly fifth. I think it's between Longo Borghini and Reusser for third. I give it to Reusser just because I do feel on level she was better than Elisa Longo Borghini in general uphill, especially in the Vuelta. So yeah, I have Reusser third, ELB fourth, Cassia fifth.
Is it harsh that for these categories that we can't mention Sarah Gigante for being sixth at Tour de France Femme and third at Giro d'Italia women, because she has vulnerabilities that are being exploited to the point that she can't really compete for the actual win?
It's best GC rider, not best climber.
Yeah. She wouldn't even win best climber, though, because her best climbing level was beaten by Ferran Prevot, for
best
example.
Climber, on her day, she was second best this year in the world. She was second on Madeleine. She beat Reusser and ELB on 2 uphill finishes in the Giro. So she's top 3 best club, but GC is more than that, and also the results in GC are not as good as the other 5 we've mentioned across the year.
I agree with you. Okay. I think we're good on that category. On to the next one, which is... Actually, before we get there, do we see anyone step into that potential top 5 of GC rider category? Like we had a Vlodarczyk coming up. We have the rumors of a storm coming in Eastern Europe.
They'd argue it's Central Europe, I think, but yeah.
A Belgian sees everything to its east as Eastern Europe, which is unfair, but...
It looks like thing in the Netherlands is in Eastern Europe.
Is this a geography podcast or a cycling podcast, Patrick?
I do. I spend a lot of my time just looking like at random geography stuff. Just where is this place?
One thing you definitely didn't do is geology, because I remember you getting the weight difference between gold and copper wrong at some point in this podcast history. Or bronze, what was it?
I'm not a metallurgist.
Oh, bronze and gold, the bike of Carapaz, right?
Yeah. Why do they give him a bronze bike?
I don't fucking know.
I think Fisher Black is the best chance to go top 5 next year. She was like the 3rd best climber on Madeleine. I think she has a good chance to podium the Tour next year, so I would say Fisher Black.
I think that's a good call. I think I agree with that. I'm trying to think of other potential talents, but I'm not necessarily seeing that directly into that top 5 move possible. There's a couple of riders that I see moving up into top 10. I'm curious where a Maeva Squibon in like a top 10 GC rider, whether she could compete for a top 5 in the same way that Cédric Kerbaol does at a Tour de France in the future. Those ideas are coming up in my head. But
Trinker
anyway,
Colonel, maybe?
I'm not feeling that yet.
Not yet, but could be.
Maybe is it weird that I'm not sure she's on the right team for that?
I think she's doing pretty well. But yeah, I think Fisher Black because of her climbing level and then a few things outside of her control this year. So I would say her. If she kicks on next year, also pretty young. So, but yeah, that's my 5. Best sprinter is Lorena Wiebes. Obviously, like it was
really?
Almost the gap grew this year.
Yes.
To second, which is crazy because she was already the most dominant. She won 25 races this year, which is crazy. And then I think over, the vast majority of them at World Tour level, I think she won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 19 World Tour races, including major classics, not just, she won 2 Tour de France stages. So yeah,
I think second simply fell through. As in,
there is no second.
Charlotte de Gaulle crashed at the Belgium Tour, but before that didn't have a great season either. So I'd say that she's fell out of that spot. And the difference between Wiebes and Balsamo and Consonni kind of stayed the same for me, where it's like, Wiebes is clearly the better sprinter over you. So how do we discuss Marianne Vos within this setting? Because when it gets versatile...
Vos didn't really do any... She didn't win a bunch sprint this year, no?
Yeah.
Like Vos got beaten by Bredevold in the Plouay uphill sprint.
Yeah, but she is consistent in getting second behind Wiebes at the best race then.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, Vos can position better than anybody. And yeah, she did win. She did win the points jersey in the Vuelta with 2 stages. She won stage of the Tour uphill sprint but that I think Vos is almost a puncher at this point.
I think I've put her in both categories. So
yeah.
Actually, I didn't put her in both categories. I will. There we go. We'll discuss it later in the puncher thing. But actually, I think there's an argument to be made that Vos could be on the podium of this best sprinter category because she's second place in Tour de France fun stages where the others aren't. Positioning matters.
I've left second free.
Oh, I think that's fair. MSR, do you count that? How much do you count that? I think that counts.
Yeah, it's a sprint. Yeah, true. Balsamo clearly took us, and you're right in that. Why should Elisa Balsamo be above Vos in the sprinters ranking when actually Vos in the biggest races consistently beat her in sprints?
Yeah, and yes, Balsamo won Trofeo Alfredo Binda, but out sprinting Blanca Vage is also not the most glorious sprint victory of all time, So the competition that Balsamo beat doesn't shout to me second best sprinter in the world right now. In pure speed, perhaps she has an argument for it, because Charlotte de Gaulle this year was not at her best level ever. But if we can leave spots free, then I would also leave a spot free in 2, and then I would have Wiebes in first and Vos in third.
Yeah.
Is it me or did we not? Oh, wait. I did not realize Sophie van Rooyen won a stage at Tour of Chongming Island.
Yeah, but
this is relevant because I think I had a hot take about her last year on the podcast, saying she would win a World Tour race.
What about Ali Wollaston?
She's not in that discussion for the podium for me.
She's not. Even though she won Cadell's, but yeah. It's much of it's basically just a tier like Vos, Balsamo, Consonni, and Cole, but not really Cole, but those first 3 on their day, they can all beat each other.
Yeah.
And they're pretty much of a muchness to me. But yeah, Wiebes is just a step above. Oh yeah, I would probably, Consonni was, she just, yeah. I think you're right. You've kind of convinced me on Vos. Is she not the best sprint? Does she get knocked because she doesn't do UAE Tour? Where if she did do it, she probably could podium every sprint. But yeah. Anyway, this was probably of all the awards, this was the most
obvious
lopsided winner. Category. Yeah, It was actually pretty bad.
We'll get
this
to best
year.
domestique later.
True. Best classics rider. We obviously have in the women's, and the men's has gone that way too, but the women's is the best riders are the best riders in all the hardest one-day races. It doesn't matter if they're a Paris-Roubaix, if they're a Strade Bianche, or if they're a Tour of Flanders or Liège, generally speaking. I would have in here, throwing names out, Vos, Kopecky, Borghese, Wiebes, Vollering, Ferrand-Prévot. Best classics rider. Elisa Longo-Borghini.
You know who I have as winner? Once again,
don't.
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Second at RVV, winning Roubaix. That is better than Kopecky winning RVV plus 12th at Roubaix because she was working for Wiebes for some reason. That was a crazy day. Vollering was not consistent enough across... Well, she wasn't present at RVV in the first place. And if we have a separate puncher category, then I'm not really counting LBL as much in this category. Same for Le Cours Pinard then. Lippert had a podium, I think, at RVV, but wasn't consistent across those Cobble Classics. Borghese was one of the most consistent ones across the Cobble Classics, actually. Getting second at Roubaix and sixth at RVV is an insane outcome for Letizia Borghese. But also, Patrick, can you explain to me how Alison Jackson, who got fifth at Roubaix this year, is riding for Saint Michel next year?
Is they on Cannondale, same bikes?
Yes, but
Like how did
wouldn't
the
you
team not pick
expect
her
her
up?
to be in World Tour?
Yeah, kind of.
She's good enough.
She's still good, yeah.
For me, it's Ferrand-Prévot.
Kim Lecourt-Pinard won a monument. She was top 5 in San Remo, top 5 in Tour of Flanders, 6th in Flesch.
But is that not puncher?
Flanders and San Remo? Not really.
I think San Remo LBL, the Flesh, is puncher category for me.
Okay. Ferrand-Prévot also, I don't accept her relegation in San Remo, so actually...
Then again, she also didn't help Vos much there.
So she was 4th in San Remo, as well. Best classics rider. Yeah, I think it's her because she was the best in Flanders. She was the strongest uphill. I know that the finish line's not at the end of the Kwaremont, but she was, and then she won Roubaix. Omloop was a mess. Van was a sprint with Wiebes. My ranking is Ferrand-Prévot, Kopecky, Wiebes.
Ooh, I hadn't even considered Wiebes.
She won Gent-Wevelgem, she won San Remo, and yeah.
I would like to give third place to Longo-Borghini though, because I'm so annoyed that she wasn't able to ride RVV because she looked so good before that. And what is right?
Yeah, she won 2 races either side of it. I think she won Brabants in a dominant solo too.
Okay. Those are not the highest prestigious races, but I think it's a hard pick that I put her in third, not a brain pick.
Yeah.
Because Wiebes deserves it more results-wise.
Okay, best puncher then. I would say this is between Le Cours-Pinard and Vos.
Not Vollering?
Nah.
Okay.
Because what punch
Just putting it out there, eh?
What does she win in an uphill sprint?
Well, for me, puncher is more like we've had this discussion back in the day. I think.
She won Strade. Yeah. She dropped Van der Breggen on the Siena ramp. Yeah,
but even that doesn't matter to me. For me, it's not as much. It's a combination of being able to drop people on an uphill ramp, and also the combination of being good at a hill leap parkour in the first place. Yeah. You know, that's the vibe I'm going with this category. I don't know if you agree with that.
No, I agree with that. Otherwise, you're just limiting it to like pure uphill sprinters. Vollering. First in Strade, third in Omloop, which she should have won. 4th in San Remo, 2nd Flesch, 3rd Liège. And then in the Tour, she was... It's between her and KLCP, and then maybe Vos 3rd.
I think it's between the two. I'll give it to Kim Lecourt-Pinard.
I'm giving it to KLCP, and that's because of the edge that she then wins the sprint after. And yes.
And has yellow in the Tour de France and becomes this like very relevant person in the Tour de France from like that's the added factor too. It's not just that she won a hilly race or something throughout the year. It's winning LBL, a monument, which is probably one of the more important hilly monuments out there.
Yeah.
There's not that many, so it's hard to.
And KLCP was like that first, like even World Championships, it was her and Vollering. Like they were,
True.
I know that there was a break ahead, but just on level of punch, yeah. And also the first stage of the tour, most important puncher test of the year. KLCP was one of the strongest, and then Voss and Ferrand Prevot rolled the group, but Vollering wasn't as good in that pure punch test. So yeah, I've got KLCP 1, Demi 2, Voss 3rd.
I agree with you. I'm going to invent a new category on the spot to annoy you. Upset of the year has to be Omloop, right? Or is it Magdalene Valliers? Or is it
It's Valliers. It's Valliers. Because Omloop, we've seen, like, Omloop and Amstel, they do that every year, but to do it in the...
Lotte Klaas was unknown for everybody.
True, Valliers was like a decent hill rider before.
It's difficult for me, because Omloop was like shock, but Valliers was... I'd give it to Valliers on the precipice that she was super strong, and Omloop, yes, they were strong, but they were also just blatantly giving a gap that couldn't be caught.
Yeah. Who won Amstel? Bredevold.
Lotte Klaas felt too much like Kiesenhofer.
I mean, yeah, that's more like Kiesenhofer, where they're like, just what are you doing? Whereas with Valliers, when she went, it was like, oh, well, this group's going to win then. I was like, this group is going to win. Yeah. Because they have got no radios, and it's going to just, no one's going to pull. Puck Peterson, where was she this year after the Ardennes?
Flesh. But
I know, but she did 20 race days at she top 10'd every race, one-day race she did for a month and a half, then did the tour, and then nothing else.
Had a crazy good first part of the season.
Yeah, Puck Peterson for overall classics rider, I think we've underrated.
For puncher.
Yeah, puncher. She podiumed all 3 of the World Tour Ardennes races. I think we've done her a disservice here.
She definitely is podium. It's KLCP versus Puck Peterson. For puncher.
Yeah.
And I think Peterson has an argument for first.
No, it's KLCP because she also raced after KLCP was better in the tour, in the puncher efforts, and afterwards. So I give it to KLCP, but yeah, Puck has to be on the podium. I give it to her over Demi, and then Demi 3rd, Voss 4th, and ALB 5th.
We forgot about Peterson because her second part of the season was so insignificant.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't race for 3 months after Liège, and then didn't race after the tour.
I don't remember why.
Yeah, there's CX races in June.
Maybe she does mountain bike?
Ban cyclocross.
I think she does mountain bike too, no?
I've had enough. Had enough of this cross-discipline nonsense.
I agree. Ban every sport outside of road cycling.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Puck, she was incredible in the Ardennes, actually. Best TT rider, I think it's a good opportunity to give a hat tip to the retiring Ellen van Dijk, who was the best TT rider and won this award for a number of years, but it's Reusser this year. She finally, won the World Champs TT that she'd been looking for, plus Europeans. It's inarguable. She is the best TT rider in the world.
I fully agree. I have a hard time figuring out second and third and so forth, though, because
the major races didn't put a time trial in.
Yeah, it's hard to really and Dijkert, in my head, disappointed.
Yeah,
I don't know her results by heart. Yeah, she did. Holy shit.
Yeah, Demi did 1 TT this year. It was the world's TT. It's kind of lame.
I refuse to give a second and third spot here.
Yeah, it's kind of the lack of TTs in major races this year kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, what are we going to give an award just because of one World Champs TT? It's obviously Royce is the best, but I'm glad there's a Tour de France
Brody
TT.
Chapman gets third. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I've got a P1 and a P3. You can fill in P2 yourself.
Best Baradur, like Breakaway Hunter.
Squibon has to be on the list.
Yep. Back to back.
Want the Tour de France farm stages. Outside of that, though, Ooh. Do you count Valier's World Champs victory as a Barodur victory?
It's a Barodur. No, it's a one-day race. Like,
Well, yeah, you can Barodur win a one-day race. Barodur is a breakaway.
true. Quinn Simmons in Lombardia, yeah, that's a Barodur effort, yeah.
Ooh.
I got Bredevold, Squibon, because Bredevold did it in, like, she's always good at this sort of effort. That's how she won Amstel.
Yep, correct. Trying to think who was consistently in.
It's a very specific category for women's cycling when there's not a lot of break. Like in the men's, there's 63 Grand Tour stages, of which a certain portion go to the breakaway. There's not many break stages.
Trying to go through the Giro stages right now to remember if I.
I'd say Van der Brecht is actually pretty good at this.
So there was a Henderson break in the Giro.
Yeah, there was the first stage when she played Dixline Miamont.
There was a move with Lippert at some point in the Giro as well. I wouldn't say she's like a Barodur, to be honest, but
no, and that was from like the GC group mostly.
Yeah, the winner is clear to me. It's Mavel Squibon.
It's Squibon, biggest stage, 2 stages in a row, bang, see you later. So yeah, and then I'll hat tip to Anna Henderson. That is her style of racing, and also Misha Bredevold. Best domestique.
I have my winner. I find it hard to find
I have my winner
rest.
too.
Is it the same rider?
Yeah, it has to be Justine Hikira. I know maybe another rider, and I know there's SD Works lead out riders. There's a Barbara Garishi. There's Bredevold. There's riders that have contributed to 25 Lorena Wiber's victories. I understand that. But I can't get out of my head Justine Hikira coaching Sarah Gigante down the descent in the Tour de France.
Same. And her personality in interviews is so... It just makes you happy, you know? It's someone that makes you interested in the sport more than it already is because there's more personality to it. Because I know how we both like riders with more personality. Justin definitely has personality, so I like that factor to it as well. But that's not what this is about. She was a good domestique across that entire race, and
when she could have won herself.
Yeah.
That's the crew. Like she was good enough. Julie van der Velde also was excellent for AG Insurance in the Tour from memory.
Belgians, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you also think of moments like Brunel on Madeleine or something?
Yeah, there's the Brunel on Madeleine, but I think Hikira... Yeah, if Hikira didn't do that, then I think Gigante risks losing the podium there.
Yeah.
So...
It's like the Daniel Martinez moment for Bernal on Segadiala.
Giro. Yeah. Shout out also to the Movistar domestiques. So Sarah Martin, Jelena Eric, Oda Bjanic, Sheila Gutierrez. In general, they are pretty good around their leader, I would say. They usually ride with a pretty good plan.
And they helped Royce a lot, I feel like.
They help Royce a lot. They work for Ferguson, who's sometimes 10, 15 years younger than them. They just work. So Femke Heritzer, I think, and Bredevold were very good. Cicchini was... Like, the whole SD Works team, in general, were very good around Vibers, obviously.
I've got a hard time giving it to FDJ Suez riders.
Well, now the anti-domestiques, yeah.
It's like SD Works the year before.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, it's hard for that. Also because when you see Labousse riding then in the final mountain stage of the Tour de France Femme, it's also because of her top 10 in GC, so it's hard to then call it completely selfless,
Even World, she did it. Even Worlds, like, how are you finishing that close?
Yeah.
If you're pulling all out to catch the break, how do you finish that close? Also, maybe, Femke de Vries, she was very good for Ferrand-Prévot in races. So, yeah, Femke de Vries was good. But, yeah, has to be Hikira just because of that iconic moment in the Tour de France.
Kopecky and MSR for Rebus was really good. In the final, the clutch moment.
That was good, yeah.
Doesn't deserve the category, but mentionable.
Otherwise, that group attacks Vibers. Best race of the year.
I immediately thought of one race. I really enjoyed the Tour de France Femme, like
I think
especially because of the Gigante dynamic. But for me, it's LBL, and I think Cedric Kerbaol is the reason.
Is it LBL? Did they come back together and then they were attacking and
Yeah, and Cedric Kerbaol went off the front, and
yeah,
I think it's because we had it. It added onto it because we had, I think, like a bit of a your rider versus my rider in LBL happening at the same time as well.
Yeah.
So it added my interest of, Kerbaol could actually do this, stuff like that. I was really immersed in that final. And seeing Kim LeCour-Pinard deliver that LBL victory, that was outstanding. I could be missing some races here, but that was a race in my head that really, really ended up engraved in there.
I like the Giro. I think it was very competitive. The Giro is my favorite stage race of the year. Obviously, calendar slot, absolutely horrendous. Thank God they've changed it for next year. Had to happen.
Was it not already changed? Am I dumb?
Ooh, I think you might be. But then how did I watch it? How did I watch it if it was on during the tour?
Yeah,
No, it was on during the tour, 6th of July.
Really?
How did I watch that?
Anyway, we watched it together.
Royce, yeah, Royce and ELB were both coming in at a good level, and they were very, like, almost inseparable in the uphill stages. Gigante came back. She was the best climber, but not like she was also then trying to take back time for GC. We had the Henderson Barradura stage. I thought it was an excellent race. I really enjoyed the Giro overall. I think was my favorite stage race. Whereas the Tour, I got to say, the Tour felt like I'm worried about next year's parcours. Everyone just waiting for the Madeleine, and then Ferrand Prévot just rode away. So yeah, I like the Giro. Also because, it's very competitive. Breakthrough of the year, you've got on your list Benji, Borghese, Valliers, who won the World Champs, Paul Lablasi, Isabella Holmgren on Little Trek, Vladarchik, 4th in the Tour. I never would have predicted that. Gigante back. I'd add Sarah Van Dam as well. I'd add Kim LeCour-Pinard to that. I think she did break through, like, again.
Yes, but
she reached stratosphere
for some
levels.
reason I have a hard time putting her there because I feel like the bridge that some other riders here made are bigger. Like, I think Gigante made a way bigger jump in terms of, like, becoming a more mainstream name in this sport. Oh, it's difficult.
I disagree.
LeCour-Pinard got second in the Tour de France stage last year, no? Or am I inventing that?
What did KLCP? Yeah, Kim. Yeah, you might be right. Last year, Kim LeCour-Pinard was ranked top 70. She was 10th in Roubaix. She won a Giro stage and was 4th in the Liège. No, I think it's KLCP.
Really? For full breakthrough of the year?
Because she became...
I'm giving it to...
I know you want to give it to Young Rider, but it's a breakthrough after the breakthrough.
I kind of want to give it to Vladarchik. Because I didn't see it coming.
Wow.
Because I feel like I've already given enough to LeCour in this fucking episode.
Yeah, true. Maybe I'll give it to her. What? Anyway, I just threw out some names.
That might be 1 year too early.
Trinket Colonel. But Vladarchik only moved up a few spots in the ranking. I think...
True.
She didn't do much else outside of that.
But she's top 5 the Tour de France, you know?
I know. Kat Ferguson, does that count?
For me, not really, because I feel like it's the evolution that I expected from Ferguson. I expected her to win or compete for a World Tour win this year, which she did at Tour of Britain. So I expect her to build onto that next year.
Yeah.
If she wins a Vuelta stage next year, kind of expected. Is that harsh?
Yeah, I think you're right in that Kat Ferguson had already kind of arrived. She's doing what we expected. I didn't expect KLCP to be this good. And she's my breakout, to be honest, because I think she's reached stratospheric levels. But yeah, anyway, this is sort of a personal opinion one.
I'm going to... How much has Holmgren risen in the ranking?
Nah, but not like...
Well, she came from just second in L'Avenir to winning L'Avenir, but next to that, top 10 at the Giro.
True. She won
And,
a pro race.
yeah.
She was, she's,
Top
I
10
think
youth
next
winner,
year's
yeah.
Holmgren's breakout.
Yeah, I agree. For me, it's Gigante.
Fair enough. All right, thanks for listening to our Women's Cycling Awards. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your picks down below. Do you agree, disagree? I really enjoyed this one, actually. I really liked reviewing the year. And we'll see you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao, ciao.